economics in leadership. Get to the comment section saizi na uniulize maswali as I go on with this guest of mine, Moses.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you very much.
You're looking sharp. I wish I got the memo. But I don't think I can address chairperson and possibly the future. Is it president? Is it called?
He's a president, Kenyatta University.
Yeah, it's still president. The title is still president.
Yeah, sure. But still in the constitution, currently we use chairperson.
Chairperson.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's still the, the overall head. So welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Right. Finally, good to
nice
have
to be
you
here.
Yeah. Introduce yourself, by the way, because that's I think that's paramount.
Oh, my name is Owuor Otieno. I'm a fourth-year student in the School of Economics, pursuing a bachelor's degree in Economics and Statistics.
This is your camera, by the way, because you're a politician. I want, watu nyumbani wasikie hadi kwa bones.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm a student in Kenyatta University, so to say, just to mention. And I've been here for 4 years, and this is my 4th year now. And it's my second time coming to KUTV, so to say.
Right.
But the very first, the other time when I came, I really came to us. We are really wanting to partner with you guys. We had an economics symposium that is back in 2019.
Right. So you've been on matters of economics from way back.
Definitely.
What was that one about?
The National Economics Symposium, it was a competition whereby the School of Economics had actually invited a number of universities whereby we had a competition going on. And we were just trying to argue out and come up with solutions on the assessment of the current account deficit that is in Kenya and how exactly it can be sustainable and how we can help Kenya be able to sustain its budget.
Now, because we are already in that conversation, and the budget deficit of Kenya has been quite, a sore issue in the country for quite some time now. Yeah. I think we've hit 7 trillion plus in terms of the amount of debt that we owe out there, and that's an extreme amount. But now that you did that in 2019, what did you guys come with? Maybe 2 pointers on how we can turn around the situation.
I think the most important thing is to know exactly what the current account entails. And first of all, what I understand is that when the current account deals much with the exports and the imports that comes into the country. And one thing that we got to realize when we are actually going through this particular project is that Kenya tends to be importing so much as compared to the amount of money that they get from the exports.
Right.
And this leads to the high deficit in terms of their current account, meaning we intend to be spending much outside the country more than we are earning. And one thing I was realizing is that the amount of money that we can be able to get in terms of equalizing the current account, is that we get so much money in terms of remittances that are coming from people who are working abroad. But in terms of the way we spend, we are spending too much, and the things that we are spending on are things that can actually be produced in Kenya.
But you see now, the question usually is, I thought the government has already people in place who are economic experts like yourself, and many other people they consult with. Why don't we have such a situation, a turnaround of the situation so far? I
think however much the government really has the experts, because one of them that I know, we have the likes of David Kwame and David D, people who probably think can be able to have good economic decisions as far as the government is concerned. But again, it's all a matter of political goodwill. Is the government really ready to implement some of the policies that the people are ready to bring on board?
Right.
Because we understand, we know leaders, we know there are also politicians, people who have got interest, and you find that these are some of the goods that we get to import are being controlled by the so-called big fish, if I might refer to them.
Right.
And also some of the politicians are so much interested because they can see to it that I might be in a position to get some goods from Uganda and be able to sell them expensively in Kenya, since nobody is ready to produce them in large amount in Kenya.
Right.
So I take that advantage as a leader who is able to have control of the border and bring the goods into Kenya. So you find that political goodwill is a matter of concern.
Right.
So as long as we don't have the political goodwill from those who lead us, then we are continuously going to suffer as a country.
Right, you are continuously going to suffer. And one of those places that we are suffering, because now you are going to be, going towards the helm of leadership in institutions. A very interesting headline that was there in yesterday's Business Daily that I want us to get into. The University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University's their losses combined have hit a total of 4.3 billion. Kenyatta University alone has had its deficit dip to 2.13 billion in that period, under review from 1.3 billion, with now Kenyatta University relying on short-term loans to finance its operation. It's interesting that you're coming into leadership in that particular institution that is in the dailies. Of course, even University of Nairobi being mentioned there, and a couple of other universities, including Egerton universities, where the university staff and the lecturers are, have pulled out their services from the institution, citing some of those terms that were not being met because these institutions are now running into debt. How did we get ourselves here? Because now you've been involved in politics for quite some time now in institutions. How did we get ourselves into a situation where universities cannot sustain themselves, and how do we get ourselves out?
That's an interesting question, and many times I see that appear in some of the memes that go around that Kenyatta University is on debts, and that are almost nearing closure and such stuff. But it's a question of how did you get there? So first of all, I as an individual have not been able to even access, maybe I'm not in a position to access like the financial statements of Kenyatta University, first of all. And I think just like the government is, I think we have, it comes maybe away from the government as well.
Right.
Our government, first of all, is of ambitious, so to say. Just the same way I will say it trickles down to our institutions. There is much that they really want to do, and they need more money. And maybe the way in which they can be able to get this money becomes a problem. They go into so many debts thinking they will be able to pay it back. And financial education is very important. As someone once said, that is Robert Kiyosaki say, it's very good that people get to know how to use their money, the amount of money they have, and how to spend it, how to get it back.
Right.
So I just think for Kenyatta University, all that we can do, because...
And all the other institutions, of course, not that we are highlighting just Kenyatta University.
Yeah, and any other institution, so to say. I would say that the most important thing is to know how much money we have and what exactly we want to do with the money. How many employees do we have? How many people do we need to pay that amount of money? How much remains? And what is there that is very, very important that we prioritize in each academic year that we want to do.
So we become people who are proactive rather than being reactive to situations where we find ourselves in debt and we are running around trying to cover those deficits. Now, if you are going now into position of leadership, but before I get to that, I had mentioned that you are the chairperson for LBB.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of people might not know what LBB is. Maybe an introduction to LBB. Sounds like a very interesting acronym, yeah? I was expecting 3 more letters there, but LBB will suffice. What is LBB?
Oh, LBB, the 3-letter acronym, that is Let's Build the Brand. Our slogan is together, let's build the brand, so to say. And I think this is something I started way back in June of this year, when I was actually going in as a president. And later on, one thing that really moved me about all this particular acronym and even the name itself, Let's Build the Brand.
What brand are you building?
The brand that we're building is Kenyatta University brand.
The Kenyatta University
Kenyatta
brand.
University brand.
Right.
That is exactly what we're building. And so many people sorry. So many people have asked the same question that Kenyatta University is already an institution that is known by every other person.
Yeah, you would say
exactly,
it already has a brand.
It already has a brand. Why exactly are you people saying that you want to build a brand and every other thing? But in that particular statement as well, we say let us build the brand. The article there in that particular line is very important. That we are not ignoring the fact that it is an institution. That's why we're using the word the. So, but it is a process. And I want people to understand that apart from the fact that Kenyatta University is known, our question as members of LBB is what are we known for?
Right.
That's the most important thing.
What are we known for as an institution?
As an institution, because people can be known for, you can be known for anything. Probably you can be known for not being honest. You can be known for being honest. Yeah, it goes all the way. Being known does not only take the positive side.
So the brand can be negative or positive.
Exactly.
Right.
Meaning you can be known for anything. You can be popular for any other reason. And for us as LBB and I as the chairperson LBB, what is of interest to me is to to change the public perception as far as Kenyatta University is concerned, to improve on the reputation of this university, so that the students who get out from this university, the graduates who come from here, are able to have ownership and have the sense of belonging towards this institution.
Right.
It's so sad when we get outside there and they meet sentiments like, oh, Kenyatta University has come, get to read and then get out of Kenyatta University, you will be frustrated. That is one thing I want to change. I think just to mention, I was from the Alliance High School, and one thing.
You were? Right. You went to the Alliance High School.
Exactly.
Okay, now and then you went to Kenyatta University.
And then I came to Kenyatta University.
How does this two relate now?
The relation is here. You see, I must say that I have a great sense of belonging towards Alliance High School because of the brand of that name, that it precedes you wherever you be able to go, such that when you present something, somebody be able to see that you're from the Alliance High School. They can be able to resonate with that. I have seen people from the University of Nairobi being very boastful over, like, you get to get them on screen and the first thing they have to mention.
I went to the University of Nairobi.
For us from Kenyatta University, I've seen a number of us. So all what we say is, we give a speech and then in between we say, by the way, for us it's a by the way. KU. Yeah, I'm from I went to Kenyatta University. So it's a by the way for us, meaning we have not been able to own our institution, meaning there is something bad about it. The image is not outside there, and if the image, if the name is outside there, then what is it that the society takes Kenyatta University for?
Right.
Are they able to associate us with productivity? Can they be able to associate us with being proactive and being efficient in terms of what we do?
Right.
That is all about building the brand.
That is how the brand is going to be put out now. Now, when you are going to, if and when you are going to be on the helm of leadership in Kenyatta University, and you're already in leadership as the chairperson of LBB, what kind of measures are you going to do now, especially on the institution economically? Let's begin there. Generally, to uplift the economic situation of students and the general welfare and well-being.
Many times, and I think there's a very crucial matter, especially when it comes to matters economics and issues to do with finances. And one thing that you've realized is that so many of our students have been frustrated in terms of how they are able to get enough cash to be able to pay their fees, some of them not getting enough money to be able to cut off for their meals and all that. And as LBB, one thing that we really want to do is that Kenyatta University, we've realized that Kenyatta University has got a number of structures which have just been neglected, or if they're in use, then they're being used in the wrong way, so to say. And some of these structures, we will want to say, some of them have become obsolete and therefore need to be done away with. And maybe, or if in any case we are not to do away with them, then we just need to restructure or rather redefine them so that they be able to serve the comrades more efficiently. And one thing that is...
so what I'm getting is that there are already structures, only that they need to be restructured and reimagined to ensure that there's better well-being.
Exactly.
Right.
Because, for example, we have the Somesha Mwenzako, we have the Needy Kitty Funder, and all these are the things that are structures that were put in place to be able to boost the students economically and financially. So one thing that is of interest to me is the Somesha Mwenzako and the Needy Kitty Fund. And we are saying that this is one particular time that we as a LBB, when we get into office, one thing that we really first need to do is to see that how efficient are we able to use the Somesha Mwenzako to uplift our students,
right.
The constituents that we are going to lead.
How big is the team at LBB?
The team is big. It's more than big. I think you can be able to walk around and yeah.
And all of you are vying for positions of leadership in the coming elections.
Exactly.
Which one personally are you going for? They are asking out there.
In LBB, a team of 7 members. I'm the chairperson, meaning I'm going for presidency, so to say. We have the vice chairperson. We have the secretary general of the team. We have the finance secretary, the academic secretary. We also have the organizing secretary and the gender secretary in the same team.
Right. Part of what you're saying is your manifesto, and some of the things that you're going to do is mentoring and outreach into high schools and organizing, I'm saying here, organizing medical clinics, charity events, mentorship, and providing secure environment for the students in the university themselves. How do you figure you're going to do this? And we are used to manifestos. It's a country of manifestos. We are a period of politics. Next year we have 2022 general elections. Manifestos are flying around like flyers and brochures from a marketing company. But so that you can make sure that the LBB team is getting to do what they are promising to do, how are you going to perform these community organizations outreaches, and how do you feel it's important that Kenyatta University strengthens its position with the community that it's living?
One thing, maybe just to begin with the very last question, is why exactly do you want to get us there? How do you exactly want to bring the community on board? I think in business, even so to say, the most important thing is to be able to bring the society close to you. And it is the most ethical thing, because it is the society that form part of your customers and all that. So for us in LBB, one thing that when we were starting this, one thing that I was much impressed about, because in the School of Economics, I've been a marketing director for a club, that is the Kenyatta University Economic Student Association, and I've done that for the last 2 academic years. That is my second year and my third year. And I think there is no any other important building block among the schools that we have than the clubs and societies. That is the best platform that as the chair LBB, I would really want to invest in and be able to use in terms of reaching out the society. Because I've seen through Questa, we have been able to go for mentorship events in high schools. Through Questa, I've been able to carry out National Economic Symposium. We have been able to go for charity events each semester. We've been able to carry out Monday meetings, bringing corporates on board.
Right.
So
these are things that you've already implemented.
Yeah, these are things that I've done in my school, you see. So I really feel that it is not happening in each and every school. Not all the schools have clubs that are actually active. If in any case that they're there in terms of names. And one thing that I really want to do is that I want to see an integration in terms of functionality between the KUSA executive and the executives that are going to lead these particular clubs. And one thing I will demand from each and every executive of the club is they will have to provide me with the calendar of events in terms of what they really intend to do for the students, so that I have that particular calendar from each and every school. I see how I fix the events that KUSA is intending to do, and how I can incorporate those events to the ones that are going to be performed by the clubs.
Right, now questions are coming in, and the first one here I'm seeing is concerning the security situation in Kenyatta University and of course the community, because now we've mentioned Kenyatta University exists in a community that is around it. There's the Kenyatta Market, there's Kahawa Ndani, Kahawa Sukari, all those regions that are around Kenyatta University. There have been cases of insecurity, of students and fights between students and the locals, and accusations flying in and out. How can we turn this situation? Because this is a conversation that has been held for a long time. A lot of people have come into leadership, they have gone, they've come back, and they've gone, but that is still there. There's still insecurity for those for those students who are non-residents, those ones who are not residing within the school, within the institution itself. LBB, when it comes to leadership, because all of you are vying for for all those positions, and if you manage to clinch the top position or any other, you will still be at a position of influence to ensure that students are, and as I'm seeing, because your second one of your points here in the manifesto is that you're going to ensure a secure environment for students. How are you going to do, what are you going to do about it?
Thank you very much for the same question. When you become the president Kenyatta University, one thing is that it's not just a mere position, first of all, because you're leading over 65,000 students. And one thing that we are mentioning, that I've been able to live in Kahawa Ndani. I've also been able to reside at KM. And one thing, the security issues at KM are very alarming. And you've had cases even recently. And one thing that I really want to mention, first of all, apart from the fact that I will be leading students from Kenyatta University, I'm also going to lead the citizens of Kenya. And one thing is that we have just the barracks here, we have police post just in KM. And it's just important enough that we be able to engage the department, the directorate security. We also have to be persistent and being very consistent and determined in terms of how we engage the security around, that is the national security. And in any case, we are citizens of Kenya. We are citizens of Kenya as Kenyatta University students. We pay taxes just like any other person. And I will demand to the Ministry Interior. We have students, we have citizens of Kenya who are being killed every day.
Yeah, students are being killed.
who are being beaten, who are being robbed at KM. They pay taxes like any other person, and therefore Kenyatta University itself is not a private institution. It is a government institution, and if anything, then this should be a priority that these people, these places are secured. And I intend to beef up security in KM. That is in cooperation with the Directorate Security, the ministry in charge, and I will be so much consistent and persistent in terms of going to their offices just to ensure that we have police officers doing patrols as early as 7 to ensure that their place is very secure. So that I want to promise to the comrades, it will be sorted out. Right.
You have economic empowerment programs that you want to restructure, reinvent, and also implement new ones. You have security, you have security plans to ensure that we are living in a safe environment, and that students are living in a safe environment and coexisting within with the community that is around it. Now, on this show, which I am mostly concerned with matters of economics, business, politics, and other matters, including the environment. We're just from COP26, which was happening, I think, 2 weeks ago. And the conversation on climate action, climate change is something that none of us can avoid, because especially for students of higher institutions, they are going to be at the helm of leadership. You're going to be at the helm of leadership later on. From the grassroots, are there plans to ensure that Kenyatta University is clean, safe, and environmentally friendly for the learning that is taking place?
Yeah, that is, as far as the environment is concerned, I think that is also under my docket as the chairperson LBB. And one thing that we really need to assure our comrades is that as members of LBB, we want to ensure a safe environment for all of them, both in terms of learning and also what they interact with outside there, that is in terms of sanitization and hygiene. We really want to see to it that we live in a clean environment whereby each and every person is not exposed to any risk of maybe being contracting a disease or anything.
Because those cases have happened before. We've had outbreaks of serious diseases in
definitely. And one thing that we get to realize, I think if any of us have been able to visit Kenyatta Market, there is a lot that goes on. If you are able to just see the standards or the sanitization and the hygiene around, it's one thing. And that is one thing that we really want to champion for moving forward, that those people who are operating restaurants and hotels within KM, then they really have to ensure that the standards of hygiene are very high. Otherwise, we will, as the comrades and as the president, I will demand for a closure of any hotel that is not able to operate. Because ethically, there's business, that is what we want to do. We really need to ensure that our customers are safe. And that's one of the most important things. If you can't assure us that, then why exactly do you want to operate within our midst? So we really want to see to it that when we get there, then things are done the right way.
Okay, so on fire there. That is Moses, who is going for the top leadership position tomorrow at the the elections that are being held at Kenyatta University for student leadership. Spitting some points there. Na hapa naangalia a lot of feedback, of course, coming in on Facebook. Daniel Ochieng Dunga anasema Mr. Talisman, where Owuor, my president, watching you live from my box hapa KM. Shout out to the people of Kenyatta Market, which is just right outside Kenyatta University. Now, I had asked guys earlier on to engage me on a very personal question. How do they cultivate healthy financial habits? As someone, and LBB in general, as a group that is going to be on the helm of leadership, if you become the president, if and when, I know that is how you'd like me to say it, if and when you become the president of Kenyatta University students' body, we'd love to know how you'd manage finances, how your team is going to manage finances. So I'll begin with you personally. What have you done to cultivate healthy financial habits for yourself before we give you all our money to take care of?
One thing that is of interest to me, first of all, is knowing how exactly you want to generate your income. And apart from just knowing how you want to generate your income, is knowing how exactly do you want to spend it. That is very, very important to me. And many times, just as I stated earlier, financial education is very, very important. When I get money, what do I intend to do with the money? See, am I in a position to be able to reinvest? Am I in a position to be able to save? Because these are some of the things that we get money and overspend, not knowing that tomorrow also exists. So first of all, I would want to say that as an individual, one thing that a culture that I've developed is a culture of saving. Being able to save so that I can be able to take opportunities when they arise, because I will be holding money that can be able to cater for that. So one thing, when you get money, get to see to it that at least you're able to save. so that you are able to take advantage of the future opportunities that comes with it. And again, one more thing that I would want to say is that in any case, maybe you are being paid, you're an employee somewhere. I will just advise, maybe so many people will be against this, but when you get money, when you get paid, maybe you have debts and every other thing. First of all, get to pay yourself before you pay any other person.
Pay yourself before you pay other people.
Exactly. Just pay yourself, then pay other people. Because when you pay yourself, when maybe you earn 20,000 and you have maybe things you really need to do, maybe you are just on personal issue you want to invest somewhere, do that first. Then get to pay your debt, those you owe.
Right.
Because when you realize that you don't have enough money to pay the people you owe, you'll get to find other means of getting more money.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes actually a lot of sense. Now, since throughout the show we've been speaking about your manifesto, Mimi mentioned a few points here and there. This is a point where you sell yourself. This is your camera. You're going to speak to them directly. Tell them what they're expecting tomorrow. Of course, a peaceful election, because we've had cases of demonstrations and, you know, disruption of elections in the past. Very chaotic. I hope that is not going to happen. Bwana chairman, as we go into this week. Pia ambia opponents wako watulize, kwa sababu sasa tumefika wakati wa election, so that you know, we don't go into those situations where we are going to prolong the election period because of chaos. But as well, the ballot number, then the ballot papers, how to do that, how to vote, and as well, so that we can wind up and get to the rest of it.
Thank you very much. So just to speak to the comrades outside there, the congress persons and the delegates who are actually going to be elected. So first of all, I want to send a message to all the comrades that the voting process that takes place tomorrow is not you doing maybe a favor to anyone else. Voting is your responsibility, one thing that you must understand. And when you do not take part in the voting process, then you're a failure to this particular institution. You are the part of fail. And therefore, I urge each and every one of us, the process of voting had been laid out, and you know very well that we will be voting through the Kusoma platform, whereby your preferred candidate will be placed in that particular platform. So get to vote your candidate, get to submit the name of the candidate that you vote, so that in the next for this academic year, you will have a leader of your choice. And for we in LBB, I want to send a message to the congress persons and the delegates who will be in the electoral college. That is tomorrow. LBB is a strong team. We are very ready to serve you people. We are a focused group. We are very objective in terms of what we really want to do. And every day I say, we are not competing anyone. We don't have opponents. All what we are doing is that we are chasing a vision, and that we really want to take Kenyatta University to the next frontier of leadership. That we understand very well that the standard of leadership has been laid so low, and it's that time that we as the LBB, we really need to set the bar high, so that whoever is coming after us then will have a task to do. So I want to promise you that each and everything that I get to promise, the manifesto that I've shared, or the one that I will be able to share with the delegates tomorrow, is one that is very simple, it's very clear, and there is a lot of validity in it. Right. And I want to promise that we are going to accomplish whatever it is that we have been able to outline in that particular manifesto. So see you there tomorrow. Get to vote your delegates, get to vote your congresses, and the congresses get to vote LBB. Right. I hope you find something unique and very interesting amongst all my team members to be able to bring us at the next leadership. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Right, that is Moses Owuor Otieno. I got it correct, yeah? Definitely. Yes, Moses Owuor Otieno, chairperson of the LBB team. Let's build the brand. Let's build a brand. That's what they're calling themselves. And they're going for the election season tomorrow. Various positions. Of course, they have a whole team of about 7+ people who are going for those several positions. And I'm seeing here on Facebook, watu wanapiga kelele sana. Ogutu Fortune, Talisman Wisdom, Malin Isa, my president, Viva. Ward Judy, Viva Mr. President. You're quite a popular man out there, it looks like. Also, naona hapa Kisungu Kubwa. Anasema Oluoch, Kisungu kubwa, my friend. Uko na majina tatu, my friend. Yeah? The same name 3 times. You're way worse than Miguna. All right, Ward Judy, senior economist. Asante sana for all you guys who are continuing to send your feedback. And, you know, I'll see you after the election to see how that goes. All the best to you and your team.
Thank you very much.
All right. And if you win, we'll have you back. Of course, we'll be here with the president, future president, when and if that happens. Let me take a short break and then I'll be back. Naangalia feedback yenu still on the hashtag Biashara Tuesday, the hashtag Rise Today. Tag me up at Richard_Kenya. Naona Jesse Kimotho ameamka.